Coliseum. Here we are, together.
We get up early in the morning.
Even friends or families here.
It's game day, and this place is special.
This is Bill King at the Oakland Coliseum, the home of the Oakland Raiders.
History lives here.
Number 41, Philadelphia.
Great defense! Holy Toledo! The place has done well!
The players.
Intercepted Brown.
Back is Plunkett.
On the run. Touchdown.
That's 1,000 catches for Tim
The
Brown.
moments.
It looks like Terry Davis. He's been knocked. The Oakland Coliseum is
Oakland Raiders have punched their ticket to the postseason.
And of course, the fans. Raiders! Pride and poise. Commitment to excellence. Raider Nation, it's Oaktown, baby.
Well, again, that gives me goosebumps. And tonight I have an announcement to make. Tonight, live from San Diego, we are the Mad Bomber podcast, brought to you by Johnny's Donuts. Not the unofficial anymore. We are the official podcast of Johnny's Donuts. So, Oracle, you know how it happened?
I don't know. I'm dying to hear the story. I want some sprinkles.
Well, thank you for asking. So what happened is I went to Johnny's Donuts on Sunday, and the ladies all, hi, and I'm like, how's it going? I go, how are the Mad Bomber podcast donuts selling? And she just started laughing, and I go, hey, I got a question for you. And so we talked, and unlike your lawyer, her lawyer and I have worked out a deal that we'll talk about at the start of next season. So please keep going into Johnny's Donuts and sporting the Mad Bomber. I guess she was like, this is for real. You guys are for real. And so we have Johnny's Donuts, and Johnny's Donuts now is the official sponsor of the Mad Bomber podcast. So if you guys like Raider Fearless, I take dozen donuts. Look at that already. See that? I take dozen donuts. Well, go to Johnny's Donuts. And if you do like donuts and you like the Raiders, please subscribe and like and subscribe. I know we're close. Yep. And if I have my Dave Freitas buddy, he was at Johnny's Donuts. So we are now official, guys. It is now official. And speaking of Johnny's Donuts, I had a great weekend, and I was just pumped all weekend for the show. This was the one I was like, totally takes me back to my elder years. We have a gentleman coming on tonight who will be with us in just 1 minute, who got to live with one of the greatest Raiders, one of the greatest defensive linemen the Raiders have ever seen. And let's go ahead and jump into the video before we bring this gentleman on. You ready, Oracle? Are you ready? Did you bring your A game?
Oh, yes, A+ game. Let's go. Play that video.
Did you bring your toilet bowl donuts for tonight?
University of Mars. His path to the NFL can only be described as an odyssey, to say the least. After high school, he did not attend college, and he served in the Marines for 3 years. After that, he began working at a meat packing plant, and he played semi-professional football at nights. In 1971, he got a tryout with the Rams, but in 1972, his luck would change. He would join John Madden in the Oakland Raiders. Madden would use the 6'4", 270-pound beast all over the defensive line. He would use him at tackle, end, and nose. Sistrunk was a Pro Bowler in 1974 and played on a talented Raiders defense. Otis had a relatively short career of 7 years because he was 26 years old when he finally made it. But he and the Raiders were champs in Super Bowl 11.
You know, looking for all those videos, it sure seemed like he got fired up to play Terry Bradshaw. I mean, he just like I remember Bill King when Sistrunk knocked him into Santa Maria. Sistrunk gives him a lick, and it was like he hit Bradshaw from the side to finish the 76 AFC Championship game, and he literally just slapped Bradshaw. And then watching these videos, it seemed like they didn't like each other very much, did they? Jeffrey, did your dad like Terry Bradshaw?
No, he just hated Pittsburgh. That was Pittsburgh and Kansas City. Them are the two teams that he hated the most.
And you were telling me earlier that you got to frequent those two games. You got to go to a game in Kansas City.
Oh yeah,
also a game in Pittsburgh. So welcome to the show, Jeffrey. Man,
welcome.
This is so cool. I know. He's on the East Coast. We're on the West Coast, and I really appreciate you coming on.
Hey, quick question.
Yeah.
Can we take a moment of silence and recognize Brett Robinson? Because he passed the other day.
Absolutely. So
yeah,
yes.
9 years in the league.
So yes, we will do that upon your request right now. So everybody, let's bow our heads for a moment of silence for the great Raiders center Barrett Robbins. All right.
Thank you so much.
Are you kidding me? Thank you.
Yeah, we always got to recognize all the Raiders players.
Well, yeah, you were talking to me earlier. We talked about George Atkinson and Carol Davis, how you had sent flowers to the Davises. Talk about that.
Oh yeah, that was. Talking to George Atkinson's wife, things that he went through, especially through CLE. That trauma from head trauma and everything. And it just took a toll on him and later on in his life. But he was a fighter.
Yeah, he was.
Like I shared, was a lot of, not just like that Soul Patrol team, a lot of guys didn't make the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's still a travesty, especially your
Yes,
dad.
it is.
It's a travesty.
But like I said, I'm still pushing myself and asking people. I put it on my social media. Hey, let's try to get all of them in there, because the NFL fight, it was Al Davis fight, not the players, and that's why a lot of players not in it today, because of how Al Davis was the maverick. They said.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the Oracle and I did put up a letter. We put where to send for Lester Hayes, because we had a Hall of Fame show of the snubs, and again, we won't go into it because all it's going to do is piss me off. And it's just we had one of those nights. Remember that, Oracle, where we asked our viewers to write to the Hall of Fame. And Jeffrey, we will have you back for one of those shows so that we can get those letters written at your request.
I appreciate it.
I believe that, and I do believe just the story, the journey. So let's get into that story. Talk about. Okay, Dad's out of Marines. What happens next?
Well, like I said, after that, he moved to Milwaukee. He's working a meat packing company. Also, he's playing continental football. And then he went from the continental football to the Norfolk's Neptunes. And that's what he was getting looked at, playing while he's working at the meat plant and playing semi-pro. And so one of the guys, I forgot the name of the person's name. Yeah, that's him right there in the Neptunes, 77. And when he got looked at by Green Bay Packers, they brought him in as just a tryout. And then they told him that, hey, we know somebody that might need you. So that's when he ended up getting, like I said, it took 2 weeks for them to transfer him to Los Angeles Rams. And when he went to, it should be St. Louis Rams. And when he was down to play St. Louis Rams, they had a good team and, a tough team. And so he was trying to take a position down there. And then, again, they said they got more positions somewhere else. So that's when he went to Los Angeles. And then when he played for the Rams, and they were like, hey, we are solid, but we don't want to, put you on the bench, let you come in. So then that's when, like the Oracle said, when he went to the Raiders, he told him, what position you want to play? He said, I play all of them. And then that's what he played, all of them, the whole front line.
How was that though? When he went to the Raiders and because I'm looking at his stats as a rookie right now. I mean, pretty damn impressive. 14 games started.
Yep.
He had one interception. He had one fumble recovery, 4.5 sacks as his rookie.
As a rookie, yep.
As a rookie, and he was number 6 in voting for the Rookie of the Year, AP Defensive Rookie of the Year. Jack Tatum was 9th.
Yeah.
Number 9. Your dad was number 6.
In a couple of weeks when me and you talked, I asked him about that. He was like, you know what? I was just trying to show those other teams what they passed up.
Oh, I bet. You mean he had a chip on his shoulder?
Yes. And that's when all that a lot of people didn't know who he was, because he come out of college, walked on, and he started. Like I said, especially playing against greats and talented people that was out of college and or from other teams. And you walk in and you took somebody's position,
Yeah. And then when he was on that team, he got to play with the great Bubba Smith. Talk about that.
Oh yeah, like I say, Bubba Smith played at Michigan State. But he was real close to Bubba Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And Bubba Smith was with the time he had there, he was okay, and him and Bubba Smith shared a lot of time together, on the field, off the field, the hotels. They spent in rooms together also.
Right. Yeah, we're talking about that earlier. You were saying that the Raiders had a policy of when they were on the road. What was that policy like? You talked to me about that earlier.
Yeah, that policy was like John Madden had this concept that an offensive player and a defensive player would stay in the same room together. So you'd be talking strategy on offense, you talk strategy defense. So your mindset will be on both sides.
And
blocking techniques.
And who did your dad hang out with? Sorry to interrupt.
He hang out with, like I say, with Gene Upshaw. Art Shell.
Yeah.
And then he hung out with all the Jordan Atkins, all them guys in the backfield.
I bet he did.
But then him and Art Toon really got close. And Phil Valapino, they got close too. That picture there, that's what you see, the original Salt and Pepper.
That's the Salt and Pepper. Talk about that. We got there. Tell the Mad Bomber podcastees what that meant and who actually gave him that.
They was from what like I said, my dad shared when he said they used to hang out and look like just like dressing plain clothes, and come to the game like they never played professional football. And so that's when the Salt and Pepper came out, because Art Toon always carried a little small a lunch pail box and it had salt and pepper in all the time with a sandwich.
that was before the teams had chefs and nutritionalists. These guys were just basically, they brought their lunch to work with them because it was different back then. I mean, even when the Raiders moved back in '95, they had they talk about it. Their physical training room was outside. The weights were rusted and stuff.
Rusty, yes, it was.
And now you look at it, it's like, holy guacamole, Batman, they look great. So Salt and Pepper started in the 70s, and then it almost got some traction. You tell the Bombers about that.
Well, and then I remember a couple of years ago when Max Cosby, and I forgot who he said it with him.
Lee Farrell.
Yeah. They said they had a new Salt and Pepper.
That was awesome. Awesome.
And then my dad was like, "Okay, we'll see who gonna be the Salt and Pepper."
Yeah.
They gotta bring it if they're gonna be Salt and Pepper.
There's one of these that they need to get before they.
Yep, that's what he said. You got to get one of them before you can talk about it.
It's funny because I went to the Max Crosby Commitment to Excellence dinner, and next to me was Greg Townsend, and they were talking about Max Crosby. Yeah, well, he needs to get a ring. And it was like, that's what those guys really played for.
Yes.
That was the nostalgia. It wasn't, this is what I have. No, man, they had this. That ring was there. I mean, when your dad got his ring, what was it like? I mean, did he go to bed with it like what I do with my
he cheered like it was a newborn baby. He hugged it all day long. That and especially his Pro Bowl rings. That's when AFL had Pro Bowl rings and AFL had championship rings.
And then back in those days, whoever won the Pro Bowl got double the money.
Double the money, yes, they did.
So there was a bit, and I don't remember what the exact numbers were. So what are we looking at here, Jeffrey? What we know about one of those?
Well, that's the other ring is the order. I'm in a Shriners. So that's my Shriners ring.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you get to hang out the Shriners still?
Yes, I'm actually a potentate in the state of Michigan, so I'll be leaving in a couple of months, going on to down to Memphis to the Shriners Hospital, do some community service work.
Oh, that's so cool.
Awesome
for you. Look at that, Oracle.
That's some good stuff right there.
That's some good stuff.
I mean, it's funny that the other one is bigger than the Super Bowl ring.
I wasn't going to say nothing.
That's why I told him. He got mad at me that day. He was like, don't ever do that. Don't show nobody that ring.
We're not showing it. It's not on here.
I know.
And I mean, look at the digits. Those are some big digits too. So he's got some Fred Flintstones like I do. So when your dad came in as a rookie, and I remember the first time I actually started noticing him was when they played against Green Bay. That was a big game. They were playing in Green Bay.
Yes.
And if I remember right, your dad actually was on the field when Tatum has the 104-yard fumble return for a touchdown. But there was another time that he was running in front of another gentleman, and you talked about that where George Atkinson got an interception. Yeah. Tell us about that. These are the stories that I love.
So when I heard the story, I heard the story three different times. My dad, he had his side, but then George Atkinson's wife told me her side, and then somebody else told me. Skip Thompson's son told me his side, and so they told me that both George Atkinson's wife and Skip Thompson's son told the same story. Like when got the interception, and my dad was running, and he told me, "Otis, you need to get your big fat butt out the way because I'm trying to get this touchdown." He was like 20 yards back, and he ran past my dad. Then he got down to the end zone. My dad was, "You need to stay behind your block. I'm getting you in there. You need to stay behind my block."
Yeah. Don't. So your dad gets into the Pro Bowl, and actually he made it as a reserve in 75 too, 74, 75, and 76.
Yep.
But here was probably his favorite day, right?
Yeah, that's when he had a field day on that one.
Oh yes,
that's when he sacked Frank Tarkenton.
Yeah, he was up. He was
the MVP there that game.
There were so many players that stood out that game. Jeffrey, you had Clarence Davis, you had your dad, you had Willie Brown, you had Fred Biletnikoff. Shoot, Dave Casper caught touchdown.
Yes.
I mean, it was a total team effort. But I'll tell you what, for 3 games in a row, your dad ran havoc against the Patriots, then the Steelers. Like I said, I was saying in the intro, he knocked Bradshaw. Remember one of the last plays of the game before the fans ran?
Oh yeah,
he knocked him, blindsided him. He didn't even see him, and then he was just.
So
talk about that.
Remember, I was sharing with you. You see on that picture where on his right arm he got that cast around there.
Yes.
That's that cast that everybody, all the Raiders had a formed cast. They put it on right after they come back from warm up, and referees checked them. They put their formed cast on. Now it's time to. Now they brought the heat down.
Yeah, so
that was all forearm and thumbs.
So before the game, the officials check all the arm pads.
Yes.
And then they go into the locker room, and George Anderson would make casts out of each one of them. Basically, they turned into billy clubs.
Yep.
And it always blew me away that why would the refs check like an hour before the game? Why didn't they check like right before the game? But they didn't. And
Well, Chuck Noll started a lot of that. Like the Raiders are dirty. That's who started.
What did he call him? The criminal element?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you had the coach from Kansas City. He really hated the Raiders.
Oh yeah, that was bad. Hank Stram.
No,
that's funny. So what do we got here, right here, Jeffrey?
So, probably about 5 years ago, Georgia, Georgia, state of Georgia, they have a All-Pro Hall of Fame for players that went off to the league that was Hall of Famers and played. They came from the state of Georgia. So he just got elected into the state of Georgia Hall of Fame.
Okay, and so there looks. I can't read any of the players. Who else was on that team?
You had Herschel Walker. You had
is it Shannon Sharp?
I think I see Shannon Sharp.
Yep.
What about Otis Taylor?
See David Pollock in there, the guy who was on ESPN for a while.
Oh, really? Otis I see Otis. I think that should be Otis Taylor. He's from Georgia. That's cool. And then, check this out. Talk about how did he get this role as a movie star? Your dad, the movie star in Car Wash. What was it? Cheese on that guy was over his head?
Well, he was I guess that's when he called him that University of Bars. After that was notice of him. And they was like, did it be nice to have him in Car Wash? But then in the same token, like the Oracle said, you see the guys from Car Wash, they throw the butter up on top of the ceiling and it fell right on top of his head. So it's like the butter supposed to be cooking on top of his head, bald head.
Oh, I see. Okay. Now I get it.
I love it. Oh,
they play that song. I want to get next to you.
Yep.
That was cool. How was that? What was that like for him? Did he dig that kind of stuff? Because you said because I remember hearing he was going to be in North Dallas 40, but he was injured, right?
Yes, he was.
Yeah. So
he was doing commercials, get into movies. Also, he went off into professional wrestling. He did a lot of autograph and like I shared with you, one time I went to a golf party. And him and Ben Davison, they bet an ice cream cone who can hit the farthest with ice cream cone.
Oh wow.
That's all they wanted was ice cream cone, who can hit the farthest.
Ben Davison was his buddy, huh? And unfortunately, they didn't get to play together. Ben Davison retired the year before your dad came in.
Yep. But Ben Davison would go down there and talk to him and coach him on some things.
I bet he did.
Oh yeah, that's what I want to say. Him and Ben Davis were real good friends.
Really? Who was somebody that you got to be interacted with your dad? Either Raider, non-Raider, anybody that was kind of cool for you?
It was like I say, it was Ben Davison. Because he liked to ride a bike, and my dad would like to bike. So every time I see Ben Davison, well, Mr. Davison, that's what I had to call him, Mr. Davison.
Sure.
He still had that motorcycle mustache and that deep voice.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
I saw him going into a bank, and I ran up to him. Can I get your autograph? Absolutely. He was such a nice person. After your dad left the Raiders, what happened then? What did he do after that?
Well, like I said, after he left the Raiders, he made that movie. Then he made Light Beer for Miller commercials. I don't know if you've seen that one before. When he picked up it was like less filling tastes great, less filling tastes great, and then they playing shooting pool, and then they said, well, since y'all don't say less filling, and my dad walked up to the pool table and said, now it tastes great, and empty all the balls to the right side.
Yeah. Do you remember that, Oracle? Or you saw that, right?
I did see that. Yeah. Someone pick up that pool table. Yeah, like it was nothing.
Well, you got anything for Jeff?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. So I wanted to know for you, Jeffrey, what was your first memory of being at one of your dad's games?
Well, like I said, I was young, And one of them, like I said, was like in Chicago that he went, and he would come over because him and my mom had separated after years. That he'd come get us and take us from Milwaukee, take us over to Chicago, watch a Bear. We go watch him in the Bears game, and then he'd go to Green Bay. Those was very local for us
Yeah.
when we was little. But as I got older, I would go out to the Bay and watch football games at Oakland Coliseum.
Nice.
But I used to ask him, I said, I always wanted to go to Pasadena for the Super Bowl, or then I wanted to go to Hawaii when he went to Hawaii. That's when they used to play the Pro Bowl at Hawaii for years.
Yeah.
So, but it was great. You see them players like, it's like, wow. It's like, okay, I seen him on TV, and you little. But, one of the things that we was also when we was growing up was that when the Raiders come on, we got, back then in the 70s, you had black and white TV.
Yep.
You come home from school on Sunday, we was right there in front of the TV watching.
Yeah.
And I remember when the same year, Ebony book, like Ebony magazine, they released a book on the front page, and it called about all the celebrities who had a bald head, like Telly Savalas, my dad, for other players,
Who else?
for other people also.
Trying to remember who that would be.
Yeah, it's on. I couldn't find it to send to you. That's why I know about it, but I couldn't remember how to send it to you. But I know it was on the front of Ebony magazine.
At the start of the podcast, I played that Raider intro. When you went to the Raiders game for the first time, and you said it was 73, right? About 73?
73, yep.
What did you think?
Well, I mean, like I said, as a young man, you sit there and you be like, okay, I want to play football too. I want to do this. I want to meet this person. And he's like, hey, sit down, just relax. Don't talk to it because we want you part of the secure part. Because they always want their family secured. Because most time people go ask the kids, family, what's this and what's that, So he would want to be very protective.
Oh, I bet. What did you think about the crowd and the just the roar being there?
Oh, like you said, you heard some of everything. Yeah, today's hooping and hollering wasn't like it was back in the day.
No, not at all.
They were talking about kill him, take his shirt off, rip him to shreds.
Yeah, that was the Oakland crowd. It was definitely that. It was definitely cool. Now, when your dad left, he did get to come back and do the torch, and that was so awesome.
Yeah, that was like the year after Al Davis had passed, and they was in Las Vegas, and he was invited to come like the first game, the torch at the first game.
Okay.
It was the first night game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was. I mean, you know what? For some reason, I missed that.
But most of the players, everyone that I didn't mention to you, that all the players there's a bricks on the wall or Las Vegas Coliseum out there.
Yeah.
Every brick got a player name on it.
It does, yeah.
And every player, those bricks are very expensive.
Oh, I know.
Very expensive.
I put my kids I put all my kids' names in their very first game, so I know. But yeah, any player, even if it was for a game, they're on there.
They own there.
They have a name.
Wow.
Do you know where your dad's is?
No, he told me like 200 and something square feet from somewhere else.
Well,
but they supposed when they first started, they supposed to start like each year, break it down a year. But then it was like you said, there's so many different players that played for a year or 2 years, got traded, or with special teams. Everybody had a chance to put their bricks on the wall.
Yeah.
And that was nice because they asked all the players you never knew who played.
No. I and again, I where my brick is, there's a bunch of open ones, and I see I see a lot of names, and I'm like, I have to look on the line. We got a guy coming on now who's a big Raider fan, and he's lives in Sacramento. He's a young man who knows the Raiders history like the Oracle does here. Wyatt, welcome to the show.
All right, Herb.
How's it going, everyone?
Hey, how you doing? Welcome.
Pretty good. How about yourself?
All right.
Yeah, so I actually have a question for you, Jeffrey. So since your dad, he was one of the first players in his era to make the NFL without needing to play college football, instead, serving U.S. Marines and then going over to the NFL. How do you think this kind of affected his legacy, as a whole?
Well, like I share with everyone, if they would go back and look at the stat when it was AFL, a lot of players would be in the Hall of Fame more than they're taking people now. Because at AFL, you played through cold wind, hail, sleet, snow. You had a lot of stats. Then you played on grass. They didn't have this turf, and they had the old tile cleats that you had to, just like, you had to replace your cleats and get out there and play. But he had a lot of history making plays.
Yeah.
Compared to what guys now, like you said, they played against people that was just strong.
Yeah, it was a different game back then too. I mean, there was we talked about earlier, they were showing hits from 1976.
Oh yeah.
And those hits today, these guys would be suspended for a year.
Yeah, because like I said, you know that the AFL, and when the AFL crossed over to the NFL, they rewrote the rules because of the Raiders.
Well, they're still well,
and they're still trying to rewrite them again for the Raiders, because they were, that soul patrol that you come across that middle, ain't no crying in football.
No, the soul patrol is the best.
They are, and I don't know if you've seen Phil Delaplano movie before. He'd tell you how much was a takedown, how much was a head cross, how much was a helmet knockoff, how much was a knockout.
Yeah, they have that in that book. If you're not cheating, rule 1 is if you're not cheating is encouraged, and rule 2 is see rule 1.
Yep.
So let's get into some free agency. So, Mr. Jeffrey, what do you think the Raiders should do either in the draft or in free agency? And what was your thoughts on Max Crosby?
Well, I see they picked up a lot of the defense was, after what Max Crosby did, they had to rebuild that defense. And by going to a 3-4, that's going to be a good defense. So they was lacking on free safety, strong safety. That's why I wish they start looking at some of the free agency for that one. Because some of these guys is in their mid-20s. That's free safety. They have good coverage. The quarterback they're looking at, they're gonna need a veteran, and I hope they pick up Kirk Cousins as a veteran to school him. Because he still needs to have someone to be there for him. Because Tom Brady wanted to come down to be that coach player, and the NFL wouldn't let him.
Yeah, so, I just saw that, and I was wondering what year that was at, but did it seem like it was just this recent year that he was trying to do
this recent year. Yep.
What about Fernando Mendoza? Are you on board with Fernando Mendoza?
Oh yes. And like I shared with you, have the last Latino good quarterback with Jim Plunkett.
Yep.
And so he got a good arm. He's from Indiana. He know how to stay in the pocket. He don't rush the football. I watched all the videos of him.
Yeah.
How he got that keen eye to looking for receivers, but now he's gonna have to grow out. He don't have the same receivers he had in Indiana. But if they pick up one of the receivers, I heard that they supposed to pick up the receiver and the center from Indiana to bring with him.
Wow. Oracle, you first, then Wyatt. What do you think? What do you guys think about what Jeffrey said?
Yeah, I mean, I would love for the Raiders to get as many Indiana players as possible, just because I thought they had such a good culture over there.
Yeah.
And whether it's a receiver like Elijah Surratt, maybe and on day 2 of the draft, I think that could be a really good pick. There's a guy, Riley Nowakowski, who's kind of a fullback, H-back, blocking tight end, who I really like too. And then the center, Pat Coogan, I think could be a good backup center too. Maybe he could even transition to guard too, if he could transition, and he could be one of the best 5 offensive linemen. So I think that could be a really good pick. But I wanted to get your opinion, Jeffrey, on the whole Max Crosby going to Baltimore, then coming back. Like, what was going through your mind through all this?
Well, I was, I feel that he really wanted to leave. You know, towards the end of the game, end of the season, he started getting in a fight with the players. He started not talking teamwork, rather just being supportive. Like, hey, no matter what, we still gonna be a Raider. Win, lose, or draw, we still gotta hold on. But then he started pointing issues at players that he playing hurt. And then when they took him out, then he started acting like they're trying to explain to him, we want to save you so that you come back next year quicker. And then he didn't like that. So he had an attitude problem. So now he became a distraction. So when they start getting rid of coaches and they bringing in new coaches, good players, now it's all like when he went to Baltimore. And I was like, he got to pass the physical. And if you don't pass the physical, then he won't be able to play, then he got to come back. And then when they start adding all these new players on, and they have been reaching out to him from what social media was saying and all different podcasts, they had reached out to him several times. Come in. And when they brought Kubiak in, he never went to the meeting. And now he's starting to say, well, I was at therapy getting this done. I was getting that done. But who knows? We weren't there. I went there. So that's his story. But still, I think it's more like a distraction on the team. If you want to go, let him go. Because now, if he do, he gonna have to play up his level. Because most players, everybody gonna be all eyes gonna be on him.
Right.
All eyes gonna be on, especially at this 3-4. You want it, now you got it. Now we have to see what you're gonna do. Because now 3-4, you don't have another tackle on the other side of you. You're gonna have to know how to do that bull rush and get through that player. And now you got linebackers. So now you got linebackers 250, 260 standing outside linebacker. But they got quick hands, quick feet. Because they just picked up, like I say, they picking up a lot of players. I've noticed it from the SEC. I noticed that. I know they picked up a lot of players from the SEC. If they're from Georgia, or they didn't go to Oregon, but a lot of from Georgia and Alabama. Yeah. And they're getting defensive backs and free safety because those guys, what are they? They 6'2", 198, bulky, speed, 4'2", 4'4", 4'40", flat.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Wyatt, what do you got for us today, big guy?
Yeah, I was just going to build off of what you guys were talking about with the whole Crosby thing. It's kind of interesting to me that of all the signings on the front seven they made, they brought in Kwity Paye. And obviously, like 24 hours later, or whatever it was, Crosby ends up coming back to the Raiders. So it's like, do you think they would have made that signing if they had known that Crosby was going to be on the team like the entire time?
What do you think, Wyatt? I that's a great question.
That's a great question.
That's a great question because you know what you just said was there were people in the media that thought they were going to tell Kwity Paye, hey. Because that was just a handshake deal at that point. Wednesday had not came back. Wednesday was the signing day, and there was a lot of speculation they were going to give him less of a contract or no contract at all. And what the Raiders did is they honored what they said they were. And Wyatt, what do you think? I'm kind of wondering the same thing myself.
I mean, for me personally, I still like the move. Because I feel like Kwity Paye, he can be a successful player, regardless of like who else is on the field with him. And I actually think that with Crosby back, he actually might make him a better player because there's less pressure on him to kind of be that alpha guy on the defense. He can still kind of play within his game and still have success. I mean, obviously, it's known that he's a very good 3-4 outside linebacker. That's kind of where he thrives. But he can also play defensive end in a 4-3 scheme, which obviously with Rob Leonard, the 3-4 is going to be their base defensive coverage, but they might shift over to some 4-3 looks here and there, depending on what the offense is looking to do. And I personally think with his elite run defending capabilities and his high motor, he could definitely be like a second contract type of breakout candidate.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think just solidifying that front seven for the Raiders, getting guys around Crosby to help him on the field, I think it's huge, and I think that it definitely could make an impact in this upcoming season.
Wyatt, what do you think about him and Tyree Wilson together?
Yeah, so Tyree Wilson, I mean, that's the kind of thing that I'm a little bit confused about.
Yes.
Because it's a little confusing to think about because Paye, he can play multiple positions on the defensive side, but you have guys like Tyree Wilson. You have Malcolm Kuntz as well on that outside linebacker position. So it's going to be kind of a lot of rotating in and out between the guys. And I actually think it could be good because it could give them kind of fresh legs for like one another. They don't have to rely on a singular player the entire time. And just depending on what Rob Leonard wants to do. I mean, Max Crosby, he led the team with a 33% sack percentage, and the second highest player was Tyree Wilson, which was 2 times less than what Crosby was doing, the numbers he was putting up. So I think it definitely solidifies that front seven. What do you guys think, though?
Oh yeah, I totally agree. Because I tell you, I was back here October. I was down to me and my dad was sitting there watching TV when the Raiders were playing Kansas City, and he looked over at me. He like, I wish Madden was little. I would call him and tell him, put me in. I think I can do better.
Yeah.
I said, man, you 80-something years old. How you think you're going to go back out there?
I got my vote's for Otis. My vote's for Otis.
But yeah, Tyree Wilson, he's young, he's strong, he's coming up. And, when Max Crosby got hurt, he filled that void. Now, my question about Kuntz, he was on 1 year last year. I don't know what they gave him this year. Haven't seen the final results of what they'll get him. He needs to play. Because that's what they were hurting at. Because if you look at some of the games, some of the players, the defensive line was pushed back behind the linebackers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were pushed back.
What do you think about that Quiddy Pay and that as well?
And then now, since the Raiders are they're building a good defense right now. Now they talking about getting rid of the tuck rule. So they dropped now NFL talking about getting rid of the tuck rule now.
Dude, they just twist and mess with us. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Messing with us.
But my main concern is Jackson Powell Johnson. I want to know what position he's going to be at, where he's going.
Mm-hmm.
He can be a tremendous center, and I guess they was grooming him to be this guard, so he could be this 1-2 punch. They can play on both sides. But he needs some help on the offensive line too.
Well, I'll tell you this. I mean, I think your dad, even at 80 years old, could have gotten some pressures against the Raiders' offensive line last year.
Oh, yeah.
Colton Miller and Jackson Powers Johnson went down. And, now Colton Miller's coming back at left tackle. Tyler Linderbaum's in at center.
Yep.
Hopefully JPJ's healthy. He could play right guard. Still got to figure out who's going to be the left guard. Is it Caleb Rogers? Is it Jordan Meredith? Is it Spencer Burford? And then at right tackle, is DJ Glaze still going to play at right tackle after what we saw last year? That kind of surprises me a little bit. Is Charles Grant going to be able to develop into a starting caliber player? Yeah. What's your opinion on this offensive line after what you saw last year?
Look, I've been going back and looking at some of the stats some of the guys have. I think they're building, they're getting stronger and working together. I like to see what's going to happen to Miller. Is he going to come back? Is he going to come back healthy? Colton Miller, he's been in the league for a long time, and we need to put some young blood in there that's going to get pass rushers and stop the pass rush and anchor that other side of the line so the quarterback can have enough time. Because if you look at the offensive line, Geno Smith barely had enough time to think.
Yeah.
If you play football, you've been there, you'll see how fast they come. But, Geno Smith, he couldn't think right.
Yeah, I don't blame all of it on Geno. I think he was stuck in a bad situation. What do you think about the line, Wyatt? Would you move DJ Glaze out? Just for me, my opinion is I think DJ Glaze would be a better guard, and I think Charles Grant would be a better tackle.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I feel as well. I mean, Grant, he has elite movement for an offensive lineman, and I think that kind of skill set would fit perfectly on the tackle position. Whereas Glaze, he has more of a smaller radius, and being on the inside guard, I think he could still be effective there. And I think if they just kind of rearrange a little bit of the pieces they already have, they have some guys on that offensive line that can really ball out if they're in the perfect position set up, like JPJ as well. Mixing him, getting him in the right position as well. I don't know. And I think obviously that's a necessity if we're bringing in Mendoza or if we have a veteran come in as well to kind of mentor and bring Mendoza along. Like we got to get that line right. And Linderbaum, I mean, bringing in Linderbaum at center, I think that was a great move as well.
That was a good access. But then I'm also hearing that Najee Harris supposed to be talking to him.
Yeah.
Hope they're bringing him in as another back.
Thursday is what they talked about. Was Najee Harris coming in? I have guys sending me pictures of cigars smoking right now. They love you, Jeffrey. I'm getting some cigar smoking. Hey, can anybody send me a donut picture too? But back.
I do have a question though.
Yeah.
We also need to get a good kickoff punt routine. You need, back in the day, you used to call them headhunters.
Yeah.
And that man on that corner, he got to go down there. He need to get down there on that soon that ball get kicked off a snap on a punt return or a punt kickoff. You got to have them headhunters get down there. So you need some speedsters, and that's why I said they're looking at a lot of SEC players that got their speed from that combination from Georgia and Alabama.
Oracle, tell us about our special teams last year. And then, it was just piss poor.
Yeah, it definitely was. And I'll tell you the guy I'm really excited about is Segan Olubi from the Colts, who the Raiders were able to bring in, be another linebacker for them. Can Tristan McCullum, can he take that next step on special teams with the new coach that came in? DeCamerion Richardson, how is he going to do? So
I love DeCamerion Richardson. I do.
Yeah.
I don't know why he was not used at all. They did. Sorry to interrupt you for a sec there, Oracle, but me and the Oracle were pulling our hair out. Basically, we were looking like your dad in the middle of that season last year because of Caillou Blue Kelly. I heard how good Caillou Blue Kelly played in practice and how he was in training camp. And Darian Porter was far heads and shoulders way better than Caillou Blue Kelly. I didn't understand why DeCamerion Richardson didn't get a sniff. It seemed like last year was just a horribly coached team. And I don't understand why, because we had Pete Carroll and I was so, I don't know what you guys thought, but I was excited to see that, thought we were going to get stability. And it became nepotism number 2. It's like the Mad Bomber podcast where we love nepotism. We promote nepotism here at this show, but not at my football team. What did you think of our special teams last year?
I did not think the special teams did what they were looking to do, like going into the season. I remember specifically that one game against Washington. We kind of went in and literally off, like from the get-go, I'm pretty sure they ran in like a 98-yard return touchdown. And you just can't really have that as a football team. You go in, everybody's prepared. Everyone's been practicing all week, mentally, physically, all that. And then the special teams just lets in a kick return to the house. I think this year, though, with bringing in Kubiak as well, like Seattle, they had a very refined special teams unit. And I think if we can replicate that and bring it over here this year, it really can't be much worse, honestly, than it was last year. And it comes down to coaching, in my opinion.
Well, you guys, if you like today's podcast, please like and subscribe. I hate harping on that, but wanted to get to that. Lastly, guys, this is when we're going to talk about all off season. When you're a team that's not very good, there's ways to turn it around and learn how to win. And and Harbaugh does a great job everywhere he goes about limiting he runs the football, limits the game game clock, because the clock's running as you're running the football. And basically he tries to teach the teams, and Marty Schottenheimer did it as well too. Madden did it great too. They limited opportunities for the other team. And then at the end of the game, you got to find a way to win. You got to punch a ball out. You got to block a punt. You got to block a kick. But they just signed Matt Gay. Okay. Yes. And but I am very, very worried about this guy. And we signed him, and he's got a contract, and he's got guaranteed money. We let go of Carlson and Oracle. Does this bother you at all?
I'm willing to give Matt Gay a chance. I mean, look, the Raiders have a better understanding of the kicking situation because they're able to see Carlson in practice.
Okay.
So they may have felt, and look, I mean, the only thing that kind of concerns me a little bit is Matt Gay was with John Spytek in Tampa. So how much of a search was it that the front office really did, or did they just want to go with a guy that they're familiar with? Because if they would have had maybe more of a wide open search, brought in a couple guys in, have a tryout, maybe we would have had a guy that were like, oh, okay, the Raiders, they did their due diligence. They felt like this is the best kicker going forward. But when you go with a guy who it's kind of like, is it a little bit of the buddy system? That's what kind of concerns me a little bit. I'm also curious to see if they're going to bring in someone in the draft or an undrafted free agent to maybe bring a little competition as well.
Right. Before we get to Jeffrey's last word, Wyatt, what do you think about Matt Gay?
I mean, yeah, kind of building off what Oracle just said. Like, I honestly kind of think that they are going to take a kicker in the draft, probably later in one of the later rounds, and kind of just having Matt Gay. I mean, he's familiar with John Spytek, and he'd be kind of like a mentor for whatever new like rookie kicker they bring in. Because I mean, even if you have all the talent in the world, I mean, look at Jake Moody with the 49ers. Like, he was supposed to be like a very talented kicker, and he's struggled mightily with San Francisco. So it could be kind of just like a mentor role. But I know Carlson, he was a favorite for the Raiders for a while. But sometimes like they know it better than we do, I guess. So might have just been time to move on and part ways.
Yeah. It wasn't Arrow Man.
Well, like, I piggyback with the rest of the guys. You got a coach that's bringing in a kicker that he's familiar with. And it's more like a friend. Hey, bring you here. I want you to coach this young guy. We're going to go after. We're looking at and want you to teach him the ropes.
Got you.
Get him the experience he needs. Show him how to kick in the wind. In college is different. When you're in pro, you kick at 64 inches. Ain't no more Sebastian from when he played from Florida. Yeah. Ain't no more of him. Janikowski. Ain't but one of him, or Ray Guy. Them guys, they're gone.
Yeah, well, I just wish that the college football would move the hash marks in just so we could see true football. It's like it almost makes it like a Canadian football game sometimes.
Oh yeah.
It's just so wide on one side. You're kicking from one side. So you really, I mean, this is what this guy's practicing 4 years, and now he's going to practice straight on or from a yard or two. So Jeffrey, any last words for us? This for me was a treat. I love this. I was looking forward to this all day long, man. I love this.
Hey, it was nice talking to you guys. I wish I can come back sooner whenever you need me. You got my number, call me. I can, like I said, I plan to come out to Vegas sometime in October, sometime in September. I would love to see you guys. Just if we just do up, sit out front and tailgate and have a beer.
No, for sure. And again, you are my guest to any game you want to go to. We'll talk about that between you and I.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, I'm very excited about the draft choice they made, the money they spending for getting another good players in. Now it's about to buckle up and like Al Davis used to say, it's time to put the carriage in front of the horses and see what they can. It's time to pull the wagon, I should say.
We got give Jeffrey a contract to be on Weekly, please. So I guess I got to talk to his attorney. I got Wyatt's attorney hanging on me. Oracle's is like a savage. All right, guys, next week, we got a great show. We are going to be back to the draft show, and we're going to have the Oracle's going to be in his laboratory. Wyatt's going to be in his laboratory, and we will have something very dynamic next week. And then the week of the draft, it's going to be the battle of the bulge here. It's going to be me, Wyatt, and Oracle picking each Raiders draft choice for every round, and we would like for you guys to play along with us.
Okay.
So if you guys want to come and send me yours, you can go ahead and send it at Mad Bomber Podcast. Send me your draft, even if you have some trades. Send it to me and see who's going to be the winner. Will you beat the Oracle? Will you beat the Wyatt? We haven't figured out a name for Wyatt yet. It's got to be something cool.
Oh, it will come. It will come organically.
Yeah.
In fact, we would have named the Wyatt Show, but that's coming later after the draft. We have a lot of work to do, fellas. So, Jeffrey, thank you so much, and please tell your father that he made a lot of Sundays very happy for me.
Oh yes, like I said, I wish all the fans and everyone continue to support me. So I'm trying to get them in the Hall of Fame.
We'll do it. We'll do a show sometime in May, and we'll get that letter out, and we'll have you on to promote that as well.
All right.
Please stay near, guys. Good show. This was fun for me. I know the Oracle and Wyatt. I want to get back to work on some draft choices for next show. So we will see you guys next week. And thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Good night now.
Good night now.
Good night.
Roethlisberger. Intercepted again. Picked off by Chris Carr. This is a foot race with Roethlisberger. And there he goes.
Have really changed the situation here.
Intercepted. Back for the touchdown.
The Jets could capitalize. Garner. Well, this is going to make everything move. Everything. They're on to Foxborough. Touchdown.
Tannehill under pressure, and it's intercepted. Tipped and picked off. Maurice Hurst off to the races. Tannehill cuts him down at about the 25-yard line. What a turn of events for the Raiders. Tim Brown deep for the punt from Hendrick. Come the Raiders. Down at the 18-yard line. Hendrick knew he couldn't get that kickoff and held on to it.
The penalty they spotted at the 7.